Proverbs 11:6. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. One of the great principles of wisdom is a certain and sure consequences for both righteousness and wickedness. Solomon repeats this rule many times, I believe, to get the attention of his son and those who would read. In this chapter alone, we could compare 10, 12 different verses that have the same lesson and very similar in their wording. That repetition is not wasted. The density and distribution of these proverbs, I believe, are by divine wisdom. God has a reason. The Bible tells us in Galatians 6:7, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Here's a law of sowing and reaping that is confirmed by this proverb that says, the righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. The verse just before this one, I believe, unlocks the truth of receiving good direction in life. We dealt with that just yesterday. It says, the righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. And so there we find direction. Here we find deliverance. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them. Simply stated, when we do right, we are delivered from the pain and trouble of sin. In Proverbs 3, 1-4, he says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. What tremendous thought. We find that a transgressor, that's one who, by the way, unlawfully crosses a boundary, will be bound in his sin like an illegal immigrant. The Bible says in Proverbs 1:31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. I can't help but remember a time many years ago I was out hunting, and we were driving down the road, and I saw a pheasant in the greater ditch. And so I got out. I knew where I was at. I knew that from previous experience that the farmer did not want us on his land. But this one was in the ditch. That's a public area. And I walked up toward it. It jumped. I shot. I hit it. I saw the feathers begin to fall, but that bird kept flying. And he flew for nearly a half a mile. And it was a little bit downhill, and I watched him. I thought, my goodness, there goes a dead bird flying. And all of a sudden, he just takes a path straight up in the air and drops, falls right to the ground. It's at that time I noticed that farmer had come out to go to his mailbox, which was about 30 feet from that bird. Well, you can guess, I didn't want to cross a boundary, and I wasn't even going to ask him. So we need to understand, a transgressor is one who crosses a boundary, and they're just like an illegal immigrant, and they are bound in their ways. When we stop and think about the combination of these two thoughts, the Bible says, good understanding giveth favor, but the way of transgressors is hard. So when you and I go in the right direction, it is favorable to us, and we don't, things are tough. No matter how hard you try, sinful living never benefits. But there's an expected end for those that live according to God's holy word. And that is that God will direct them. He will deliver them. Thank God for his merciful hand. May God bless you today.